In this episode, we talk about the upcoming Rajasthan Assembly elections. We also give you an update on the ongoing Israel Hamas war. But first, we talk about India and the Maldives. Hi, I'm Utsa Sarmin, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. Last week, Mohammad Muizzu, president of Maldives, requested the Indian government to withdraw its military personnel from the country. When we spoke to the Indian Express's diplomatic affairs editor Shubhajit Roy, he told us about the extent of India's military presence in the neighboring country.
In the last few years, India has sort of gifted 2 helicopters and 1 aircraft to essentially the stated objective is to help with disaster relief and as well as medical evacuations. So that is what India has been using these military platforms for in Maldives. And they have been stationed now for a while. And to manage and operate those aircraft, there are about around 75 military personnel who are there to service and manage and maintain these aircrafts and chopper in Maldives. So that is the sort of extent of Indian presence.
Now, Muizzu's request to remove this personnel comes just a day after he was sworn in as the new president of the island nation. What is crucial to note here is that Muizzu came to power riding on the opposition's India Out campaign and defeated the former president Ibrahim Mohammad Soli, who was known for being friendly towards India. To know more about the matter and why Muizzu's request may raise concerns for India, we speak to Shubhajit in this segment. Shubhajit, firstly, how would you describe India and Maldives' relationship over the years?
Well, India and Maldives have a very deep defense and security cooperation, and it has been there for many, many years. If you remember in 1988, there was a coup attempt against then Maldives President Abdul Qayyum, who was the president for 3 decades. So he survived the coup attempt because India sent troops at that point of time on the ground. So India has had very deep security and strategic relationship with Maldives because its neighbor, which is in the maritime corridor, which it's a maritime neighbor as well. And there are the strategic significance of Maldives is very, very significant. Apart from that, Maldivian defense personnel are trained in India as well. So a large number of them are trained in India as well. And that has also been an important pillar of India's defense and security cooperation. And since it's a neighbor, so obviously India turns up to be the first responder in whenever crisis or disaster hits Maldives. For example, a few years ago, there was a water crisis, drinking water supply crisis. So India immediately had rushed drinking water to Maldives. Also, much of the essential commodities, because it's an island, it doesn't grow everything and it needs a lot of essential commodities from, say, daily edible items to essential medicines and other commodities. India is the primary supplier of those items as well. India also supplies fuel to Maldives. So that is a very deep economic relationship that is there. And people to people relationship, as you know, Maldives for Indians is a very exotic tourist destination. It's an expensive destination, but it's becoming popular over the years. From Maldives perspective, India is a destination for education as well as for medical treatment. So there are pockets in Kerala and Tamil Nadu and Bangalore where students and patients from Maldives come to study, some to get medical treatment. So that is another area of sort of people to people connect that is there. And obviously, some would also be coming here for tourism and official business. So that is the kind of relationship India has. So almost an all encompassing relationship from strategic to economic to people to people.
Right, and we understand that despite this close relationship, the new president came to power riding on the India Out campaign. So tell us about this campaign and why was there a call for India to be out of the country?
Yeah, so Maldives sort of obviously India is a big neighbor in Maldives periphery, in Maldives neighborhood. So there will be issues between Maldives and India as well. Politically, it's become a issue in Maldives. That is where you mentioned about, the India Out campaign. But if you see, Maldives has, since democracy, I mean, in the sense that a multi-party democracy came into being in 2008, there have been, every 5 years, there have been changes in government. So elections have taken place every 5 years, but there have been sort of a lot of political volatility has been witnessed. India has obviously worked with all the political parties, but some political parties have been much more favorable towards engaging with India. Some have chosen the path to engage more with China, or if I would say that, they have been playing the China card as part of the diplomatic toolkit. Abdullah Yamin, who was in power between 2013 to 2018, he quoted China much more aggressively than any other government before. And under him, in fact, Maldives joined the Chinese President Xi Jinping's Grand Belt and Road Initiative. And after Yamin lost the last elections, President Ibrahim Soli came to power, and he was seen as much more towards strengthening relationship with India. And with the current president, sort of what happened was in the last couple of years, there was a political movement on the ground which was led by Abdullah Yamin's party, which called for India Out campaign. And their single focus was getting these military personnel out of Maldives, and these 75 odd military personnel that I talked about before. So obviously the people there made their verdict, cast their vote. So the India Out campaign made Yamin's alliance opposition very popular, and they won the elections. But what happened was Yamin was convicted in a case, and since he could not contest and he could not become the president, Mohammad Muizzu is now the president and is seen as the proxy of Yamin. So that's the context in which Mohammad Muizzu has made this formal request in his first meeting with an Indian minister after taking oath, after taking charge. So that's what has happened, and that's how the Muizzu establishment has made this demand early on in their term.
And could you tell us about India's reaction to President Muizzu's request?
Well, there hasn't been a formal reaction as such, but what we do know from official sources on the Indian government, they said that, President Muizzu indeed brought up the issue of Indian military personnel present in Maldives for operating aircraft for medical evacuation and counter drug trafficking purposes when Earth Sciences Minister Kiran Rijiju, mind you, he was the Indian representative at the swearing in ceremony of the Maldives president. But it was also agreed that the two governments would discuss workable solutions for continued cooperation, as this serves the interests of the people of Maldives. In fact, President Muizzu's statement, his office issued a statement where when they said that he had formally requested Government of India to withdraw its military personnel from Maldives. He also said that acknowledged the significant role of the two helicopters in providing numerous emergency medical evacuations. And there have been figures that have been given out by the Indian government on the number of medical evacuations. Over the last 5 years, more than 500 medical evacuations have been carried out by these 75 odd Indian military personnel, saving 523 Maldivian lives. So you can see the kind of the use of these helicopters and the aircraft that has been done for the people of Maldives. And that's what India has been highlighting as being the first responder for Maldives in any disaster scenario.
And Shubhajit, can you tell us about the kinds of geopolitical concerns this raises for India, especially considering the fact that Muizzu's party had aggressively quoted China, like you mentioned?
Yeah, so there's a strategic significance of Maldives. So any strategic footprint of China in Maldives is of concern to India. So India obviously would see this any withdrawal of military personnel and increase in Chinese sort of activity, military or otherwise, or political, would be seen as, with concern and suspicion. And so it will have diplomatically challenging tasks at hand. So it will have to navigate and deal with the current government and current players, stakeholders in the military, in the civil society, in politics, and will have to navigate these choppy waters that Maldives now poses.
And next, we talk about the Rajasthan Assembly elections. The high voltage campaign for the Rajasthan Assembly elections will conclude today as voters prepare to cast their ballots on Saturday. During the campaign, various issues took center stage in the debates. This included concerns about women's safety, welfare schemes, and the murder of Udaipur tailor Kanhaiya Lal. And just like we have seen in other states, both the opposition BJP and the incumbent Congress witnessed the active participation of national leaders like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and senior Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge. To know more about the campaigns and why Rajasthan is a crucial state for both the parties, we speak to the Indian Express's Deep Mukherjee in this segment. So, Deep, can you first tell us about the major issues that one would see making rounds during the campaigns by the BJP and the Congress?
Yes, so the opposition BJP is primarily counting on the anti-incumbency against the Ashok Gehlot-led Congress government in Rajasthan. Some of the major issues that the BJP is raising include atrocities against women. Rajasthan presently ranks number one in terms of rapes in the country, and also issues of paper leak. One of the candidates of the BJP is Upen Yadav, who is the leader of the Union of Unemployed People. And Yadav, in the past 5 years, has been raising the issues of paper leak, holding protests and dharnas. So, paper leaks, atrocities against women, increased high prices of petrol and diesel because of the taxes that are levied by the Congress. So these are some of the main issues which we also find a mention of in the speeches of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other BJP leaders. At the same time, the Congress is banking on its welfare schemes such as the Chiranjeevi health insurance and also a pension scheme and other initiatives that have been taken by the introduced by the Congress in the last 5 years. One of the main poll planks of the Congress is the old pension scheme, the OPS, which is aimed towards the government employees. The Congress has promised that if it comes to power, then it will pass a law about the old pension scheme. So these are some of the primarily significant issues which are being raised by both the parties.
And we understand that the issue of Kanhaiya Lal, who was murdered last year for allegedly uploading a video with Nupur Sharma's comments about Prophet Muhammad, this has also become a major poll issue, right?
Yes, so the issue of the death, like the murder of Kanhaiya Lal Taylor in Udaipur, has been a permanent fixture in almost all the BJP rallies. Every BJP leader, right from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP National President JP Nadda, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, have consistently mentioned the murder of Kanhaiya Lal, and they have used this case to as a sort of evidence of the quote unquote appeasement politics of Congress, Tushtikaran, as it is said in Hindi in the speeches of these leaders. They have repeatedly said that in Rajasthan, people don't feel safe to celebrate festivals. There are rioters, have got free hand under Congress rule, and they again and again they cite the Kanhaiya Lal case as proof of the fact that there is appeasement on part of the Congress. So the Kanhaiya Lal case has constantly been on the news since the last 1.5 years, the time when he was murdered in Udaipur.
Right, and now coming to manifestos, could you talk about what each party has promised to do if they are voted to power?
Yeah, so the BJP has said in its manifesto that it will transform Rajasthan into a $350 billion economy, and it has also said that it will set up a special investigation team to investigate all the alleged scams that took place under the present Congress government. And it has also said that it will set up a special cell to investigate quote unquote anti Bharat sleeper cells across Rajasthan. And among other things, it has also said that gas cylinders, LPG cylinders at rupees 450 will be made available along with free scooty for class 12 girls who are meritorious. And at the same time, they have promised that a savings bond of rupees 2 lakh for a girl child will be given. And some of the other SOPs which have been announced in the manifesto include sum of rupees 6,000 that would be given when a girl reaches class 6, and 8,000 in class 9, 10,000 in class 10, and rupees 12,000 in class 11, which will also increase to rupees 50,000 during her professional course and rupees 1 lakh when she reaches the age of 21. The Congress, which released its manifesto after the BJP, has, while the BJP has promised LPG cylinder at rupees 450, Congress has promised LPG cylinder at 400. So it appears to be a consistent case of one upmanship between the two parties if we see the manifestos. At the same time, Congress has said that it will double the insurance amount under the Chiranjeevi health insurance from rupees 25 lakh. It will be made rupees 50 lakh if the Congress comes to power. It has promised 10 lakh jobs. The Congress has reiterated also in its manifesto that it will be conducting a caste census to accurately determine population and allocate benefits for informed decisions on affirmative action. Recently, the Congress had also announced a caste survey. So it appears that after the announcement, the manifesto talks about taking the exercise forward towards a full fledged caste census if it comes to power. So these are some of the salient features of the two manifestos.
Andeep, we have witnessed Ashok Gehlot as the face of the Congress campaign. However, as of now, there is no clear chief ministerial face for the BJP campaign. Could you talk about that aspect?
So while the Congress has primarily banked on the face of Ashok Gehlot, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, it has also has all its other leaders, including former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi, and National President Mallikarjun Kharge campaigning in Rajasthan. It is pretty clear that overall it's Ashok Gehlot's welfare schemes and it's his image on which the election is being fought by the Congress. At the same time, the BJP has repeatedly said that it is contesting the elections on the face of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the supporters of the party have been urged vote for the lotus symbol in the name of Modi. And there is no clear like state leader who has been projected as a CM candidate, which is a major difference from the last two times in 2003 and 2013 when the BJP had come to power, because at that time Vasundhara Raje was projected as a chief ministerial candidate and she had won the elections for the BJP with a clear majority in the house. But this time it is different. This time there are several leaders in the BJP who are counted among proverbial chief ministerial candidates. And these all leaders are campaigning across various regions in the state for the party, while maintaining that the vote for the BJP will be a vote for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the electorate. There is only one symbol of the BJP in Rajasthan, and it is the lotus symbol that has also been reiterated by the Prime Minister himself. So there are several BJP leaders, while there is no clear chief ministerial face at the moment for the party.
Right. So while the BJP has not put forward any chief ministerial candidate, is there any leader being considered as the potential CM if the party wins the elections?
Yes, some of the leaders who are recently being talked about as maybe probable chief ministerial candidates include that of Mahant Balaknath, who is the presently the MP from Alwar, and his rallies have been witnessing the presence of leaders such as the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and the political circles are abuzz about the fact that how Balaknath models himself after Adityanath, and his rhetoric is also quite similar to Adityanath, and the fact that recently in a function in Haryana, several BJP leaders, the top leaders of BJP, including Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and also the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, they were all present at that function in Haryana, which was presided by, of course, Balaknath. So he's one leader that is to be watched out this election.
Right, and Deep, can you tell us why is this election in Rajasthan so important for both the parties?
See, Rajasthan is very important for the scheme of things for both the Congress and the BJP because Rajasthan, since the last 25 years, has this tradition of the incumbent government being voted out every 5 years. Now, the 2024 Lok Sabha elections are not far away. And just before that, these elections of these five states are being held. Now, if the Congress manages to break the 25-year-old trend and wins Rajasthan and forms the government here in the state once again, then it will definitely come as a setback for the BJP. On the other hand, the BJP, if it manages to win Rajasthan like it has after a break of every 5 years since the last 25 years, then it will not only bolster the party's narrative before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, but it will also come as a boost for the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi because the elections are being contested on the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and not on any specific BJP leader of the state. So a victory in Rajasthan would manage to somehow sabotage that narrative that was built in Karnataka that the BJP can lose if local leaders are not projected. And Rajasthan could be then cited as the fact that the state where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's image was sufficient to win the elections.
And in the end, we give you a quick update on the Israel Hamas war. Yesterday, the Israeli government and Hamas agreed to a 4-day pause in fighting and to release 50 of the over 200 hostages being held in Gaza in exchange for 150 Palestinians imprisoned in Israel. The entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza will also be possible under this deal, which Qatar, US, Israel, and Hamas had been saying was imminent. Israeli media said that the first release of hostages is expected today. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said in a statement that for every additional 10 hostages released, the pause would be extended by another day. The statement also mentioned that Israel has committed not to attack or arrest anyone in Gaza during the humanitarian pause. During the 4-day pause, air traffic will completely stop in southern Gaza, while it will halt for 6 hours a day in northern Gaza. Qatar's chief negotiator in ceasefire talks, Minister of State at the Foreign Ministry Mohammed Al Khulaifi, told the news organization Reuters that the International Committee of the Red Cross would be working inside Gaza to facilitate the hostages' release. He added that Qatar hopes the deal will be a seed to a bigger agreement and a permanent cease of fire. However, Netanyahu said that Israel's broader mission had not changed. He said, quote, "We are at war and we will continue the war until we achieve all our goals, to destroy Hamas, return all our hostages, and ensure that no entity in Gaza can threaten Israel." Unquote. You were listening to Three Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. It was written and produced by me, Utsa, Sarmin, and Shashank Bhargava. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone who you think will like it and share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.